I'm going to try to cover several things off this list. It's going to take me a few minutes, so you need to bear with me. But anyway, I'm going to start with Laura. Her YouTube channel is Nigella for me. Now, I can certainly understand why you would get upset, why you would stress out over the health of your family. Apparently, one of her sons had some serious health problems, but he's apparently in remission. So I don't see why she should stress out over that. But anyway, I'm not sure if I fully understand what you were saying, but the way I understand this from what you said, she's got several friends, but two of them apparently don't like each other and had a problem with her liking each of them. And I would go to each of them and say, well, look, what's between the two of you is your business and had nothing to do with me. And I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. I'm not going to stress out about it. But maybe I don't fully understand what her position is because I think she's been kind of vague about it. She hasn't really clarified it. I don't get why she's stressed out about it. And if that was the situation, I certainly wouldn't stress out about it. Next thing I'm going to cover, I I watched Adam the Woo, before his apparent death, just before Christmas. Got to thinking, a handful of times Adam the Woo would periodically say that he was considering quitting YouTube. I thought, what a perfect way to bow out. What a perfect way to leave the stage is to fake your own death. I'm not saying he did it. I'm just saying this is one possibility that maybe his heart attack was not real. Maybe he found him a girlfriend over there in Switzerland, and maybe him and the girlfriend are having a wild old time climbing the Alps or riding the trains over in Switzerland or something. I don't know. Just my thoughts there. Now, I didn't attend a service, his funeral. Just my thoughts. I don't want to start any internet rumors or anything like that. I Just my thoughts that maybe Adam the Woo is still around, and maybe after a year he'll come back and say, "Nah, it was just all fake." That I'm still alive. I'm gonna get back to YouTube. Maybe he's really dead. Maybe he's hanging out there in the astral plane. I don't know. Just my thoughts. Let's see. For marriage, my hoist, my oil. I'm gonna catch on my oil pan gasket here in a minute. Let me get to. This is the marriage ceremony. Now this was. If you actually, most of us here have attended wedding ceremony where the particular minister giving the service will always ask if anybody here objects to these two getting married, speak now or forever hold your peace. But anyway, there used to be a column in the newspaper called Dear Abby. There's only got to be a few people here older old enough to remember Dear Abby from the newspaper. But anyway, people would write into Dear Abby for advice. And they would be like married couples. The wife would write in, so, like let's say Jane and John, they have particular problems. Well, Jane and John, not their real names, because a lot of these would fit a different Jane and John. They were having problems, and John would write in, say, are you talking about me? She said, nope, that's not their real names. But anyway, someone else had asked Dear Abby if anybody had ever objected to a particular couple getting married. And I guess a minister, a priest, or whatever had wrote in one time and said, yeah, that happened to him one time. During a ceremony, some lady stood up and said, I don't want to see these two get married or something like that. And anyway, the particular minister had halted the ceremony, took the lady back to his private study, and just give her find out what her objections were. Then after 15, 20 minutes, whatever, he and the lady come back and he continued the service. He said, well, her what it wasn't relevant to the marriage, and he's got to go ahead and finish it. I just thought that was interesting. Dear Abby I enjoyed watching it. I enjoyed reading it because it was a advice thing, and there was another one. While I'm on Dear Abby, now there was this one lady, her son was having an affair. I'm guessing he was underage, having some type of affair with the neighbor lady, and this lady was upset about it. And anyway, this lady had asked Dear Abby what she should do, and Dear Abby was telling the lady she should apologize to the neighbor. And me and a bunch of people read it and said, this lady, should know better than to be messing around with an underage guy. Well, apparently the neighbor lady had said, well, with a little bit of practice, your son could be as good in the sack as his father. And this lady really went ballistic. I mean, this lady was having both spending time in bed with both the son and the father. And anyway, Dear Abby was trying to tell people how she should apologize. And me and about 1 million of her readers had said, this lady doesn't deserve to be apologized to. This lady's clearly doing something wrong, having both an affair with an underage guy and a married guy. So, Dear Abby did a quick 180 on that one. That's one time she was wrong, but Dear Abby was certainly interesting to read. Let's see. Let me cover my engine hoist. I showed you part of it in my last video. Now, I had actually bought that hoist before I had even met the mother of our little girl. That was back in the mid-1980s, so I've had that hoist for a long, long time. I've still got it. I've been through about 3 hydraulic cylinders, and it still works. Let's see, my oil pan gasket. Let me dig it up here. I got it. I bought this off of Amazon. It's so pretty. I don't even want to use it, but I paid 30-some bucks for it. This is, I left it in the plastic because not everything you buy off of Amazon fits. It says 4.3 liter GM. I don't know what those other two. You can see where the oil dipstick tube has to go through there. There's a couple other gaskets. I don't know what. I've never pulled one of these engines apart before. I don't know what those 2 round ones there do. Of course, maybe they're for different application. That one almost looks like the gasket at the top of a spin-on. You can see it there. That one almost looks like one for a spin-on oil filter. I've almost got this engine out. It takes you about a day to pull all the wires loose and all the bolts and stuff loose, and almost got out. So I've been taking breaks to eat and drink pop, and I had to do a couple of jobs, which is not quite as young as the last time I took it apart. But that almost looks too pretty to use. I'm going to use it if it fits. If it doesn't fit, I got to send it back. Let's see if I covered everything here. Oil pan gasket, hoist, marriage, ghost rock. Yeah, that ghost rock, that may have been a ghost rock, or it may just have been a rock that fell on its own. And for Laura and for Abu, if Abu is out there, if you're still alive and kicking, send me an email, jamesgodman61@gmail.com. And if you want me to keep it to myself, if you're still out there, of course, I probably wouldn't. I'd probably tell everybody. Nobody would believe me. And I'll think of some, make it up anyway. Or if you're, let's see, Mike, that has a German of Venice channel. If he's probably closer to Abu than anybody else. Or that chick out of San Francisco. Don't remember her name. If either of you want to do a collab video with me, we can do it around the valley here. We'll go hike Camelback Mountain or Payesto Peak or South Mountain or something. I do that waterfall hike from the White Tanks out there. We'll go do something like that because I'd love to do that. Those are all. Well, we'd get out there this time of year. We'd get out there about 5 in the morning when they first open because it's daytime temperatures are getting like about 105. So it gets nice and warm here. That's got my list. Bye.